life, sports, etc.
It's time to give the people what they want. It's Jalen and Jacoby.
It's the day before Thanksgiving, and he is Jalen Rose.
What up, Doe?
I am David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in,
We are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do?
we get the people what they want.
Happy holidays to everybody everywhere. It is not very happy holidays in Clipperland. The Clippers started 4-0 this season. The two of us both had high expectations for this team. And since they started 4-0, they have lost 11 of 12, and they have now lost 9 in a row. There they are getting scored on by the Mavs. Patrick Beverley missing shots. He's now going to have surgery. It is a mess for the Clippers. Jalen, we expected much more from the Clippers this season, even though Teodosic and Beverley have been out. Do you think that this loss has led to Steve Ballmer and Jerry West having conversations about replacing Doc Rivers?
Conversations, those went from text to emails to meetings. That's how that works. There's no analysis I could give for a roster that has Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Lou Williams, and I'll throw in Austin Rivers, who probably played in each of those games to lose 11 of 12 and 9 straight.
Gallinari's been out too, I should mention. But it always seems like the story is injuries with the Clippers, but these particular injuries shouldn't lead to losing 11 of 12.
Well, here's what they lost in the offseason. Of course, we're going to highlight Chris Paul, a terrific playmaker who still gets you 18 points and slows the game down and gets everyone else involved. You lose the engine that made people better. J.J. Redick now. All of a sudden, your catch-and-shoot player that Chris Paul got shots for spreads the floor. He's not there.
Yep.
One of the best isolation one-on-one players to get you a shot late in the clock or get you a 4-point play or close games for you, Jamal Crawford. He's no longer there. So they lost their firepower on the perimeter. You replace him with Teodosic, as you mentioned. He's hurt. Gallinari, he's hurt. Patrick Beverley, he's hurt. So, in theory, again, I want to end this by saying no squad that has those players participating in all of those games should lose the way they've lost recently, and therefore those meetings, those conversations about Doc are being had.
And Doc Rivers, in a way, has always had but we had injuries. You know what I mean? It seems like every time, we were going great. You know, we had these good stretches, but then Blake got hurt. Buck CP got hurt. It seems like every single year there's a reason to keep him around because there are things that happen that are outside of his control that affect the team, but it seems to happen over and over and over again. And this particular losing streak, I am sure they have had some conversations about replacing him.
Well, I'm going to tell you what's kept him around. He's one of the top coaches in the game. That's really what's happening. And so if he does lose the Clipper job, maybe not immediately, but he would if he chose to have an opportunity to coach. And again, Colin Kaepernick is looking around the NBA like, man, it's foul Mark Jackson can't have a job. Like, there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the league coaching one of these 30 basketball teams with the way he helped nurture and develop a young Golden State Warrior squad that ultimately became what they are now.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. But there's also this. You remember the Clipper team when they went to New York City and they lost and Blake Griffin shot 6 for 18 and he was a -20? Well, guess what he did after that? He went out with Kendall Jenner. He goes out late at night until 3 in the morning, and that's fine. Like, his work day is different, like, his schedule's different. I'm not going to get mad at a guy for going out on the town, especially if he's with the person he's involved with. That's fine. My question for you is would bad shooting nights when you're in the NBA, or would losing streaks, or bad losses, would that keep you from champagning and campaigning?
How do I gauge success?
Realistic expectations.
So it was different based on the season and the team I played on. So when I'm playing on the Indiana Pacers and we have one of the best records in the game and going to 3 straight conference finals, when you lose a game, it's not time to champagne a campaign. If you do, the optics don't look good. You got to dial it back a little bit. More importantly, you have to do some soul searching and have whatever fun you have on the low.
Let's imagine you get traded to Chicago.
And they have the worst record in the league, and it's February.
Halftime, you're making plays.
No question about it. That's just the way it is. And so, remember, this is your job. Everybody out there that has one understands there's times that you actually need a release, something that relieves your stress. And for a lot of people, that comes in various ways. For some athletes, it's going to come with going out, having a nice dinner, being in the public, listening to some music, enjoying the opportunities that you've been given based on you putting yourself in a position to be a pro athlete.
So, you always say that there will be no LaVar Ball slander on this program, even though he's made a lot of questionable decisions. He's had some questionable quotes, and I questioned a lot of his moves. This one, I don't even think you can back. Here is what he had to say about his son's performance and the coaches of the Los Angeles Lakers. Quote, "They're soft. They don't know how to coach my son. I know how to coach him. I tell him to get the victory. Stop messing around." Well, Luke Walton responded. Let's hear what Luke had to say.
I will say this. I think that he has done a phenomenal job as a father with Lonzo, because Lonzo is a special young man. He's selfless. He's unselfish. His teammates love him. He cares about them. He plays the game the right way. So he's done a great job with that. But we're not concerned with what parents think of how we're coaching the team.
He sounds like a 10-year-old soccer team coach. You know what I mean? He's a great parent, but we're not concerned with what the parents think about the rotations. Jalen, you always back LaVar. But now he is literally insinuating that he should be coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. This isn't Chino Hills High, Jalen. You cannot back LaVar Ball in this one.
I back Luke Walton also, the son of a Hall of Famer, and Bill Walton, my former colleague who I love seeing call games for this very fine network.
You changed the subject.
Luke did a terrific job when he filled in for Steve Kerr, and he earned this Los Angeles Lakers job, not only currently, but for the future.
I love what you're doing.
I have a solution.
What you're doing. I love what you are doing. What's the solution?
You got to hire LaVar.
You got to hire LaVar, right?
Put him on the payroll.
Jalen.
When you watch an NBA team, it's 35 people sitting on the bench, and it's another 50 sitting behind. I see my brother Ahmad Rashad in Charlotte sitting on the bench with MJ.
This is what I love about you. This is why you're such a good friend. Is you will just blindly back people. You'll blindly back me no matter what I do. LaVar Ball is talking about I need to be coaching the Lakers, and you know what you say? He should be coaching the Lakers. LaVar Ball should not be coaching the Lakers, Jalen Rose. He should not be coaching the Lakers. But I respect your loyalty and I respect your passion and your ride or die-ness.
The Lakers, and I'm not saying he's not good at his job because he actually is, but just the optics for Los Angeles, hired the Kardashians' trainer.
Jalen, you really think LaVar Ball should be a coach of the Lakers?
What
title do you give him? Assistant trainer?
No, Lonzo's dad. There's so many parents and friends and managers and agents that travel with NBA teams.
You know Randy gets paid by the Cavaliers? I love this. Lonzo's dad. Why not? Magic, Irv, Hall of Fame mogul. Make the call. We'll give you his number. Coming up next on Jalen and Jacoby, I made a prediction about the future of a football team based on how a man eats a sandwich. And of all the predictions I've made on this show, this was actually coming true. We'll explain after this. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, we have some broken news.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
The Miami Hurricanes football team is at number 2 in the country. They're undefeated. But listeners of this program knew that was going to happen months ago. Let's take a look at a prediction that I made about this Miami team.
So you got 1, 2, 3, and then probably 4, I would say, and then 5. Then if you repeat the process, that's a 10-bite sandwich.
If this man approaches eating a sandwich with this level of detail and pre-production and strategy, there is no way that Miami loses a football game this year. Jalen, what you first saw was Mark Richt, the head coach, explaining his strategy to eating a sandwich. What you saw after that was me claiming that they were going to go undefeated because of the way that he eats a sandwich. I've made so many predictions on this show, most of which do not come true, but the dumbest one that I make is actually coming to fruition. What does this mean?
It means that Miami must close the deal. And shout to the U, to Luke Skywalker, to all of the fans and supporters of the squad. I've been just that for a long time. And in the 80s, a couple of teams that I idolized, the early Georgetown, John Thompson teams. And as it transpired later, the UNLV, Jerry Tarkanian basketball teams.
Mr. Rivas.
And obviously, the U and the legacy that they had. And when I got a chance to meet a few of those guys, in particular Warren Sapp in the early 90s, that became my squad other than the Wolverines.
We know that this is your squad because you've sort of supported this team before on wax. If you take a look at this photo here of you wearing the Miami gear. What's that in your left hand, Mr. Rose? I know your left hand. Is that a basketball?
I know I'm not drinking urine.
No, that's a beer. That's a beer. You have age there?
I'm 21. I have to
I'm not sure you're 21. That looks like college age Jalen Rose to me. That's what it looks like to me. That looks like college age Jalen Rose. Well, you've rocked Miami swag, but I think based on this prediction that I made, if it bears out and they go undefeated and win the championship, should they get me a sandwich chain? You know they've got the turnover chain? Should they have a sandwich chain for me?
Like I said, it's just baffling to me to the point where I actually love it. So many people in mainstream America are so enthusiastic watching young black individuals wear chains. I haven't seen it since, what, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane, Mr. T? I love it.
Well, one team we know is not going to go undefeated, and we know is not going to be in the college football playoffs, is your Michigan Wolverines.
You love to do this.
They are playing Ohio State. You are going to the game. And Brady Quinn was on Fox Sports Radio. You remember Brady Quinn. And he said this about Jim Harbaugh and his future at the University of Michigan. He said, quote, I talked to someone who's kind of an insider within that program, and we had a long, drawn-out conversation. What he told me was they're working on a lifetime contract. Jalen, the only lifetime contract I will ever be involved in is with my wife.
And this show.
And you cannot support a lifetime contract for the head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Lifetime.
Why would I not support that?
Jalen hasn't exactly gone undefeated since he got to Michigan, and now he's got his own players. And you never know what's going to happen. Tomorrow's not promised. A lifetime contract, Jalen.
I would do that in a minute if I was the University of Michigan, but it'd have to have an age limit, like 75, 80.
Something. Yeah. Like
that's all I'm saying.
We don't need a lifetime contract for anybody in anything. I don't want to see zombie old Jim Harbaugh calling plays from the sideline wearing the same khakis.
Michigan will win versus the Ohio State Buckeyes this Saturday.
What?
Michigan's going to win.
Are you serious?
See, there are
In
games
football?
during the year, like Wisconsin. Props to them. I hope they get into the playoff. It's great to see them come up. It's great to see Penn State come up. It's also for the Big Ten.
You know we're recording this.
But the biggest game of the year is happening this Saturday. Ohio State at Michigan. And all I know is we will be celebrating afterwards.
All I know is we'll be playing this tape on Monday, and we'll get your response on Jalen and Jacoby after they get blown out by at least 3 touchdowns. Some things about Thanksgiving we've discussed are cultural, but a lot of things about Thanksgiving are regional. And our colleagues over at 538, they did a poll of over 1,000 people from all over the country, and they constructed this map that you're seeing here. This is basically the disproportionately apparent regional side dishes. So these are the most popular side dishes in these regions, but these are the ones that are most specific to these regions. You've got squash in the Northeast, mac and cheese in the Southeast. You got cornbread right where you'd expect it, right around Texas and the surrounding states. The Midwest is green bean casserole. And then the whole western side of the country is salad. I have a lot of questions about this, but number one, have you ever had salad with your Thanksgiving meal?
Absolutely not.
I've never had salad with my Thanksgiving meal. It's never been discussed. It's never even been a thing. Why would we do that? What are we going to do? Cut up some carrots and cucumbers and put them next to the
lettuce?
mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes? No one's going to touch the salad.
You're not going to eat salad with turkey.
It's not happening. I'm surprised that salad I've never even been around a Thanksgiving in which salad was discussed or salad was presented.
Preach.
It has not happened.
Preach.
However, I saw that your state of Michigan, green bean casserole?
Rolls and biscuits.
That was Michigan? Oh, green beans was a little bit to the west of that?
Yes.
We don't have a lot of green bean casserole at my
No,
Thanksgiving.
I've never had it.
Also, not a lot of squash either. Well, when we come back on Jalen and Jacoby, we've got some statue news. And we're going to look at our senior statue analyst, not just of ESPN, but of the world, to break that down. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, you are a great NBA analyst.
Thank you.
But you're an even better statue analyst. You are the senior statue analyst, not just of this show or of this network, but of the world. And we have some statue news. Jalen, this Saturday, the Round Mound of Rebound, Charles Barkley will be celebrated with a statue and honored at Auburn University. As a senior statue analyst, what do you think this statue will look like?
In college, he was famously known as the Round Mound of Rebound.
Mm-hmm.
He was hefty, the original stretch mark 4.
Mm-hmm.
That would go coast to coast on you and dunk on you, make the mid-range jumper, turn over both shoulders in the post, and grab every rebound off the backboard. So to me, his statue should be one of...
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. You see what we have here? Not bad, right? And then it says at the bottom, Charles Barkley, the original stretch mark 4. Do you think they're going to do that?
They're not going to do that.
No?
No. But he would like that. Congratulations, big bro. I love you.
So, someone else that I know you love, supporter of the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, owner of the Detroit Pistons, gentleman by the name of?
Tom Gores.
Well, there's a little bit of news about Tom Gores. At the Pistons facility, they have iconic action shots of all of the players. And they also have this action shot of Tom himself pointing to the heavens with his hand on his heart, casually dressed. Do you support the action shot of the owner at the facility?
Absolutely. That's my brother. I'm so very fortunate that he's the owner of my hometown team. Unhappy, obviously, for the people of Auburn Hills who lost the team, but it means so much to the fiber of the team that, along with Tom and Arn Tellum, they got the team to play back in the city. And his passion is what drives the franchise, and it's the leading catalyst to why they've got off to a really good start so far this year.
What do you think about him choosing this, the hand over the heart point?
I got to teach you a secret.
What's the secret?
You said it twice. I was going to let it go.
What's that?
Your heart isn't on the right side.
That's a good point. That's a decent point. So let's go back to the picture then. Because we had a theory that he was doing an armpit sweat check. You know what I mean? Like he was just checking the pits to see if he needed some deodorant or something.
Nah.
He's good.
He's chilling, enjoying the game. I need to do a better job of going to hometown games.
Yes,
I will be
Jalen.
going a few times in December.
Good. In the 1980s, former Cleveland State coach Kevin Mackey helped bring Manute Bol from Sudan to the United States, right? And part of that was recruiting him to play in Cleveland State. And there's a lot of sort of paperwork and stuff that needed to happen for that to work. And he recently told Zag's blog that he made up Manute Bol's birthday because he didn't know how old Bol really was. And he said that the people at immigration were fans of Cleveland State, so they didn't really, they just kind of let it happen, right? This is what Kevin Mackey said, quote, he was probably 40, 50 years old when he was playing in the NBA. Jalen, your career just started as his career ended. Do you think Manute Bol, that man right there, could have been 50 years old playing in the NBA?
He wasn't 50. That's an exaggeration. You could look at his face and tell how young he was, and as the year started to progress. But like a lot of international prospects at the time, you truly didn't know their exact age. But for his height and all of a sudden initially being called upon to be a shot blocker to become a knockdown three-point shooter was really impressive.
If he played when he was 50, that means you've still got like 5 or 6 years left of eligibility.
I can make that corner three.
You can make the corner three. You've still got a couple years of college eligibility, right?
I know.
Let's get you
And
back
I
out
haven't
there.
retired.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Jalen. I played with you. You're not ready for the NBA game, but you can play in college. Like, you can play in college. If they're going to give Jim Harbaugh a lifetime contract, they can at least get you back out there, old number 5, lefty number 5 yelling at people. No? No? You haven't said no yet.
done.
I noticed you didn't say yeah. No.
Done with the
Happy
college
holidays,
game.
everybody. We'll
But
be
I
back
can
on
still
Monday.
come back and play in the league for a check.